My question is around sports products, especially within our market, and their struggle to secure broadcast deals. What do you think basketball, or those involved in the basketball community in our country, need to do to be able to secure more relevant broadcast deals in terms of revenue? And what does basketball need to do in order to attract the right broadcasters?
Let me first answer your first question. So we've had a deal with the NBA for a while. This is our third rolling partnership. But the difference of the deal this time around, it's actually a partnership. It's not just a sports rights buy. And therefore, one of the things that's the key outcome from our partnership with the NBA this time around is the growth of the game of basketball. So not only do we have the rights to the NBA, meaning you can watch, it's 2 games a week. You can watch those and you can watch a highlights package, but you can also see how our partnership with the NBA then seeks to grow the game. So for example, when we announced our deal, we met with Colin from Twende Sport, and they were headed, I think, to Kigali or Burundi at that time. And so for us, it's important then that we amplify what they are doing. So not only was it for us to meet Twende Sport and hear what they were doing with Thunder, but then the megaphone that we have as Nation Media Group then allows us to speak about them, to tell their story, and to ensure that they can be able to be seen by much, much more people. If you think about it, our platform on any given month on digital get about 63 million hits across the continent. If you look at our products across East Africa, we're then seated on print, on broadcast, on radio, and on digital. So the thing for us is that for us, it's not just showing what the NBA has. It's partnering with the NBA, who have great expertise in this area. For example, over the weekend, they had a bit of a tournament in Kibera. And so we amplify those stories. When you think about it on our sports shows on Saturday, we have an NBA minute, which then turns into a basketball minute. So the other day, we featured the lady from the WNBA. Now, by doing that, we expose the game, we create the fandom that Sandra is speaking about. And by creating that fandom, you then have people who are seeing both tracks, not just the track of international basketball, but also of local basketball. Now, to your point about Kenya, it's a very dicey thing. And I think this is experience we had at Kwese, because when Kwese came into the market as a sports channel, as a sports-only free-to-air channel, one of the big things that Kwese wanted to do was to have a lot of leagues get through the leagues, not as individual teams, to get sports rights from them and then to broadcast the games, again with the outcome being to grow the game. But you have a very complicated structure with the league. And so, like as Sandra puts it, you have even corporates who are willing to then work with the federations to see how well they can grow the game. But how this has been structured is then in the downstream, a corporate will wonder, will this money go to the teams or it will go to the federations? Because at the end of the day, you want to grow the teams. And so one of the challenges about rights is exactly that, because it's well and good to talk to Sandra about a deal with Thunder, but does that benefit the whole game round and round? Yes, Thunder will have extreme exposure. They will be able to get onto television, onto digital, and will be able to see all their great players. But there's a bigger ecosystem that needs to benefit from that whole piece of rights. So I think it's I don't want to say it's a business model, but it's a systemic challenge across federations, not just for basketball, which has made it difficult for local broadcasters and even international ones who come into the market to find a ready product that they can then take up in terms of rights and then find the right partners. So you'll find the partners have a challenge because of what I call a fragmented approach, but also more so because the big concern, just like Nation Media Group would have, is does this benefit the player? Does it benefit the fan? And does it recruit more people into the game? So I think it's something that is really a challenge across most of the federations, and hopefully with the kind of investments that Thunder is doing and the kind of thing that the NBA is now doing very, very consciously in the continent, and particularly in Kenya, when you think about it, hopefully there are discussions that can be had to streamline that, because it will then be costly to the ecosystem of basketball, and that's not what really everybody wants to see.